Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking into the 60 TP, the Polish Tier 10 Heavy Tech Tree. Now, the vehicle itself is a beast of a tank. It has 7 degrees of gun depression. It carries a 152mm armament, which does 600 damage per shot, making it just 40 hit points before the highest at Tier 10 for a Heavy, which would be the E100 and the VK72.01K. But there's a bit of a catch for those two vehicles, because they don't get tungsten shells. Tungsten shells increase your average potential roll from what is normally 75% to 125% to now 105% to 125. It's a 15% variation increase of damage, meaning that your vehicle now deals about, 690 damage per shot. Now this is the FE2 and 5B 183, which carries the highest module damage in the game. It is 244, and if you're running Adrenaline, which you can see me using here, and you aim at the weak spot of the 60 TP, right on the side below the turret, well, your module damage is around 280, and let me just play this here for you, and you're gonna watch what happens. Well, yeah, there you go, 2,756 damage in one shot. Now, no, that is not the 183 getting a mega giga chad shot there. That is more the 183 getting an ammo rack, a full health ammo rack on the side of the 60 TP. Now, you might be asking, well, how is that possible? Well, if we go over to my Armor Inspector application here, this is the ammo rack. It's about 210 hit points thick. And just to show how weak it is, if we go over to the British Tech Tree and we pull out the FV4005 or the 183, you fire one shell at it, one single shot on PC has a 21% chance of really just destroying it. You can see our 244 module damage. You have a 20% chance to full health ammo rack the tank with one shot. But because I was running that module, increased it by another 10%. So we had around a 25% chance to full health ammo rack the 60 TP. As well, the engine's really weak on this vehicle. 40% chance, and again, because I'm running that module thing, that's upwards of 50% chance there of lighting this vehicle on fire. Pretty dang easy to do. But yeah, I mean, just look at how weak that ammo rack is. 21% chance. So now, if we break into a vehicle like, let's say, the 60 TP against a 60 TP, which deals 203 module damage a hit, one single shot is a 12% damaged ammo rack, or 12% full health ammo rack, and you have a 27% chance to damage the ammo rack. You have a 440, yes, good English. About a 50% chance to damage the ammo rack on a second shot, and a 35% to full health ammo rack the vehicle. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Honestly, if you damage the ammo rack of this tank with any 150, the next shot I have tested will almost guaranteed ammo rack the vehicle. And well, we can very clearly show that by looking at some replays I got in a training room. So this first one here is on Hellless, and we're using a 60 TP against a 60 TP because why not? So I'm just gonna push my vehicle on up over here. Now, as I forgot to actually talk about where the ammo racks are on the vehicle, there's actually 3 prominent spots. There's the front one here, which is on both sides, as you can see. It literally cuts across the entire part right below the turret ring. Second one is here. This one, obviously, you're never gonna hit, but yeah, the second one's on the side here. And then the third one is on the rear of the turret, which is incredibly weak and easy to hit if you have the rear of the tank. So don't shoot the back, shoot the turret. So if we break back over to Blitz, you can see me here aiming at that weak spot, and we're gonna take one shot, ammo rack critical hit. I mean, that's just how easy it is to hit that ammo rack. I mean, almost every time I tested it, I was able to get an ammo rack every time. I mean, if you're up against a 60 TP in comp or anything like that, it's very easy. So there's the second shot. That's about what we said, a 27%, and the next one was about a 50% chance. And well, you're never gonna guess what happens, but aiming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and fire. Yep, there you go. 1700 damage ammo rack. That's the first game there, and he is dead. I mean, it's just easy. It's easy mode every time. We go into the mines game here, a minute and 20 seconds as well, and you're never gonna guess what happens here. We push onto the 60 TP, aiming at that same weak spot, and fire. First one does not damage the ammo rack, but if we skip it, second one damages the ammo rack, and, well, you're never gonna guess what the third one does, but, well, full health ammo racks the vehicle again, or at least 1700 health. So that was 2 attempts, and both of them took 3 shots, and I did this a lot of times, and basically every single one was 3 attempts. Here's one on dead rail for you. Let's find out what happens. Let's push the vehicle over here. There's the 60 TP aiming there. One did not ammo rack the vehicle. We're going to aim in one more shot here and fire. There you go. Ammo rack critical hits. All right. Is this going to be the shell that ammo racks the 60 TP? Well, no, it actually didn't. But, well, yeah, fourth shell is maybe the charm, not the third shell. And, yep, there you you go, another 1200 damage ammo rack. So what you can see here is very clearly the 60 TP's ammo rack is a pile of dog turds. The IS-7's ammo rack in Blitz is pretty weak as well, but it's definitely not this bad. I mean, the IS-7's upper plate is very hard to cut through, and the ammo rack's actually quite tricky to see. This tank, it's not. It's literally the entire side skirt, so you can hit it accidentally, or you'll just hit it every single time. I mean, either way, it is so weak. Here's a game on Alpenstat for you. Wait until you watch this one. We're just going to drive up to the 60 TP, and... Yep, there you go, full of ammo rack. I mean, it's so stupid. So, this is my advice for you. For anybody, if you are aiming at a 60 TP on the enemy team, and you are carrying a very high alpha gun, if you're a tier 10 tank destroyer, or if you are an E100, a 60 TP, any vehicle that carries a very beefy gun, even a Sheridan, yeah, shoot at that side spot, because you will have an incredibly easy chance of ammo racking, or at least damaging the ammo rack of that vehicle. Do I have any more games? Here's a Normandy Battle. Now this battle, I want to showcase something. The T57 Heavy does not have the highest of module damage. It is 167. And when you compare that to the 203 module damage that vehicles like the 152mm that the 100 carry, or the 150 actually the 100 carries, but the 60 TP has a 152. Yeah, those vehicles have 203 module damage. This tank, as I said, has 167. Now, judging that the 60 TP's module damage, or module hit points, is about 210, well, you're going to watch here. We're going to aim in right on that weak spot, and there's one pen. There is two pens, and let's go for one more penetration, and no ammo rack is damaged, and that's just how it was with the 57 Heavy. I tested this a couple times, and I only got one ammo rack, and it took literally the entire clip. So here we go again, and firing a heat shell just to try and see if that does anything different. Ammo rack crits, and yep, still no ammo rack. And we reload again, and you'll never guess what happens. He didn't even bother repairing the ammo rack, and still 0 ammo racks came out to the vehicle. There's one shot, and well, we're just gonna fire the second one. Yep, no ammo racks. So clearly there are certain vehicles that have a much easier time ammo racking the 60 TP than others. And the T57 Heavy, while it does have a much quicker rate of fire, while it has an autoloader which you think would burst out that damage, unfortunately it's only about a 12% chance, and that's after the third shot is fired. So if we take a look at the last one here, we can do the New Bay game. I mean, let's see what happens on New Bay. Let's skip up to here. There is the 60 TP. Make your bets. What is the ammo rack going to be? But yeah, honestly, I mean, it is so incredibly weak. Here we go, aiming at that spot. I'm even, this is obviously the first time I tested it. So you're going to see I'm looking at Armor Inspector, making sure, checking it twice. Gonna find out that this guy's been naughty, so he's going to be punished. But yeah, I was just making sure where to look, looking at Armor Inspector, and then I just, yep, there you go, full health ammo rack. So out of the 5 or 6 training rooms that I did just with the 60 TP versus the 60 TP, yeah, I got 2 full health ammo racks. With the 183, it's almost a guaranteed full health one ammo rack. And with the 57 Heavy, it's not. So basically what my verdict is, if you have decided the 60 TP in any vehicle, go for that spot, because you will ammo rack it at least 12% of the time. However, if you are in a high alpha vehicle, you should be shooting at that spot as much as you possibly can. I have personally been racked 3 times in this vehicle already, and that's even with trying protective kit and as well the equipment that gives you more enhanced protection. So yeah, it struggles a lot. Now, my biggest advice for any 60 TP drivers out there is, obviously we know that the ammo rack is here and here. So those are the 2 big weak spots. Obviously the rear of the turret, there's not much you're going to do if somebody's aiming at that, but for the most part, these are the 2 weak spots. So when you're playing the vehicle, the biggest advice I can give you is do not expose the side plates. It is very hard to hit those plates unless you angle the vehicle like this and you pull out sideways. Then it's a very easy shot. But if you're going to get hit by the enemy, take it like a champ and take it from the front. As soon as I've started doing this, my win rate's gone up, my average damage has gone up, and as well my survivability has gone up. That is my advice for any 60 TP drivers out there, because you will not be hit nearly as hard when you are using it frontally than if you are using it on the side. You have a possible chance of ammo rack, because that's really the only one that will kill you. I mean, it's the same for the IS-7. If we break onto the IS-7's ammo rack, it's why you don't angle the IS-7 outward. We go to modules and boom, it's right there. But the nice thing about the IS-7 is just the fact that you angle it frontally, and obviously your armor is strongest frontally, so that's all you got to do. So it's much harder to hit this ammo rack. It's also a much smaller target. So yeah, but for the most part, very easy to one-shot these tanks. I mean, it's still at 11% on this vehicle, and it goes up to a 50% on the third shell. But yeah, I thought that this would be just something cool to tell you guys about, and why the ammo rack is so freaking weak. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!